Hello, welcome to InterSystems Virtual Summit. I'm Jeff Fried. I lead product management for data platforms, and I'm going to take you through what's new and what's next with InterSystems IRIS. As you know, InterSystems IRIS is our latest generation of data platform technology. It's a unified platform specifically developed for high-performance, data-intensive applications. It includes the database, interoperability, analytics, machine learning capabilities you need to make the most of your data. And it's extremely flexible in its configuration and deployment options. InterSystems IRIS has been on the market for about 3 years now, and its performance, scalability, robustness is well proven. Our development investment is focused here. And everything I'm talking about today is available in InterSystems IRIS or will be available with InterSystems IRIS. For those customers that are running Cache or Ensemble, just a reminder, we've worked hard to make it easy for you to migrate to InterSystems IRIS, both technically and financially. And we're ready to help you however much you want. Early this summer, we came out with our latest release, 2021.1. And as you can see, it's chock full of new capabilities. We delivered valuable new features for you across all of our 5 major investment themes: analytics, cloud, development, interoperability, and of course, we've made significant enhancements in speed, scale, and security. This graph is a real customer's benchmark running in SQL. And over the last 2 years, we've doubled the performance of InterSystems IRIS. Compared to Cache, we're now 3 times faster. Our newest release, 2021.2, will be available to you very shortly. Watch for the announcement on InterSystems developer community. 2021.2 also has significant enhancements across the board. I'll be talking about many of these shortly, but the key point for you to take away is that we're investing steadily, release after release, in these same key areas. For interoperability and IoT, we're delivering easy integration with your existing systems throughout their life cycle, not only in message-based, but also device-based and API-based integration. In the developer experience area, we're making it easy to build powerful applications quickly in the language of your choice. And we're fostering an ecosystem and developer community, including open source components. That's really been going well. OpenExchange now has 500 applications. So if you don't already use it, check it out. In the cloud and DevOps area, we have 3 areas of focus. We're supporting modern DevOps using containers and Kubernetes and dynamic configurations. Secondly, we're leveraging new cloud facilities for storage, for compute, for intelligence. And third, we're offering targeted SaaS, software as a service, and PaaS, platform as a service offerings. When it comes to speed, scale, and security, that's sort of bread and butter. We're really keeping InterSystems IRIS fast, scalable, secure, compliant, governable, robust, and available, release after release after release. Now, advanced analytics and AI has 3 focus areas. First, we're delivering analytical querying at extreme scale. And I'll show you a little bit more of that in this talk. Second, we're putting machine learning in reach for SQL developers. And third, we're providing unprecedented ease of use for all users because there's a variety of different analytic personas. Today, I'm only going to focus on these 2 areas, on analytics and cloud. As I mentioned, we're investing across the board, but these two areas are particularly active and particularly important. So I'll go through some highlights of InterSystems IRIS in these two areas. I'll let you know what's new and what's next. For analytics, a really exciting new offering is adaptive analytics. Now, adaptive analytics lets you bring your data within the reach of business analysts and lets you do that throughout your organization. It includes a design center in which you create virtual cubes. And this is typically done by a data steward, or sometimes it's called a data designer. And they make easy to consume models used by the data analyst. And of course, it's backed by InterSystems IRIS to provide high performance and high scale. So the net of this is an ability to work with all of your data really easily with the BI tools of your choice. Let's drill a little bit more into that. For that, let me bring on Carmen Logue and Joe Gallant. Joe has been with InterSystems, 32 years?
Yes.
And knows BI inside and out, has done solutions for many of our customers all over the world. And Carmen joined 2.5 years ago.
2.5,
and is responsible for adaptive analytics and IRIS BI. So we've got the brain trust right here.
That's right.
So Joe, what's new?
Well, IRIS Adaptive Analytics is new.
I was just talking about that.
Yeah, it's something, as you said, it's something that adds to our overall picture of analytics offerings that we provide. And what it does is it allows self-service analytics, allowing people to choose the front-end tool of their choice to analyze their data. And it does it by providing not traditional cubes, but virtual cubes that allows you to do your queries sooner and has a fine machine learning engine inside of it that learns from the queries you do, creates optimizations so your future queries are faster.
Super cool. Now, I know you just built something for a customer. Can we see a little bit of that in action starting from the front?
Yes, we built a demo of a trading application. Had a variety of about 180,000 different equities as part of the trade, 30 years worth of price data. We simulated about 6 million trades, and we created this demonstration. And for this particular demonstration, we decided to use Tableau as the user interface. But one of the nice things about IRIS Adaptive Analytics is you can use whatever UI you want to use, because IRIS Adaptive Analytics is providing a consistent view of the data across all the different tools.
So Excel and Tableau see the same thing.
Yeah, and it's not just static reports. As you can see from the screen here, you can interactively change things, change filters, add fields, remove fields, the traditional self-service analytics with the power of IRIS behind it.
Really cool. So in this, when people use Excel, which is my favorite tool, are there issues with scale, or does that adaptive analytics cover that too?
Well, the nice part about IRIS Adaptive Analytics is you're getting the benefits of the scaling capabilities in IRIS. So IRIS is doing the queries, you're getting all the benefits of IRIS scaling capability, and regardless of which front end you use, whether it be Excel, whether it be Tableau, whether it be Click, you get the same performance benefits coming from IRIS.
I'm really excited about this application, and I know you have a whole session about it, but let's go behind the scenes. How did you build this?
Yeah, let's take a look behind the scenes of how we did this. One of the things I mentioned is you need to create cubes as part of this. The interesting thing about IRIS Adaptive Analytics is these are virtual cubes. You define your dimensions and measures using a simple graphical user interface, and you drag and drop from the data sources. And then you now have a cube that you can query, and you don't have to wait for that cube to be built.
Right, so that means you can change things, right? If you have something you want to add.
How many times have you built a cube right the first time? Never.
Right.
You're always making changes. So you can do these changes without having to constantly rebuild the cube. And the nice part about IRIS Adaptive Analytics is once you have this model, you can query it immediately. And of course, the key to any cube is to give these things meaningful names. You're providing a consistent view to your user, regardless of which user interface he's using. And all the logic is centralized in that definition. And of course, this is your opportunity to give things meaningful names. The names of things in the data sources may be cryptic. Let's give them something useful to the user. And now that you have that, you can start doing your queries. And the nice part about IRIS Adaptive Analytics is as you're doing these queries, it's learning from the queries you're using. The tool sends a query to the cube, and Iris Adaptive Analytics knows, oh, therefore I have to send a query to these particular tables in Iris. And then it learns and creates what are called aggregates, which are optimized structures to help not only that query, but other queries be faster with future queries.
Neat.
The way I like to think about this is that Gary in accounting, who's asking for something in Excel, is going to make things faster for Susie on the BI team, who's running in Tableau. Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah,
That's
and this
really
query optimization is key because performance is always important. So not only are you getting the benefits of Iris from performance perspective, but Iris Adaptive Analytics creates these optimizations to make your queries even faster. And again, the nice part about this is regardless of which tool you use, you're getting consistent result across the tools because all your logic and all your formulas are centralized in that data model. You don't have to create one formula in Excel, another formula in Tableau, and hopefully they're correct and hopefully they give you the right answer. With Iris Adaptive Analytics, that's all in the cube. Regardless of which tool you use, you're going to get a consistent answer.
I'm super excited about this. And we shipped this at the beginning of the summer.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, what's next is the question. So, Carmen, what's next?
I am so glad you asked because we have not slowed down. We've continued to be really busy with our development work with adaptive analytics, and with our next release, 2021.2, Iris 2021.2, we're going to have 2 additional capabilities. One is that we validated the integration with InterSystems reports, which, as you probably know, we introduced, I don't know, about a year and a half ago, to add reporting capabilities to InterSystems IRIS. And what we've done is just validated that it can be used just like any other BI tool. So you've got Tableau, you've got Excel, now you've also got InterSystems reports as another tool that you can use to deliver insights and information to end users. And this is great because this is another, an embedded capability of InterSystems IRIS. So that's one thing. The other thing that we've done is we've taken a look at what we have with our InterSystems IRIS BI capabilities, and we are continuing to invest there. But one of the things that we wanted to try was we thought that we might have customers who have use cases for both capabilities. Mm-hmm. And we thought, maybe we can help them by creating an export capability from InterSystems IRIS BI, and that can be imported into the adaptive analytics interface that Joe was talking about. So not everything is going to come along, but I think it's a great way for people to get started if they want to try using adaptive analytics and they have things that they've already, models that they've also invested in.
Yeah, I know a lot of you customers out there have embedded analytics, but also want to do self-service on the same views, same data. So that's really cool.
And they want to take advantage of the work they already put into their cube,
right,
and bring that into adaptive analytics.
Yeah.
Great.
Exactly.
So how do people learn a little more about this?
Yeah, so there's a couple of opportunities here at Virtual Summit. One of them is you can go hear more from Joe. He's got a session coming up called Adaptive Analytics in Action, so look for that. And then the second thing is at the end of the week, we have a learning lab called Healthcare Analytics. And that adaptive analytics is part of that session. There's a couple of other things there too, but that's another way to go and try to get some hands-on experience with adaptive analytics.
Okay, cool. Highly recommended. And you'll really get a sense of how you can use this really powerful capability. I'm thrilled that we've been out there in the market now with adaptive analytics. We're making it better. We're seeing real use cases. Can't wait to see more. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff.
All right, so you've got a sense now of adaptive analytics, what it does for you, and how cool it is. I want to point out that it focuses on 2 specific analytic roles. On the data modeler, who's working in a canvas to create the right model, often many of them from the same data, and the BI analyst, or business analyst, who is really surfacing that in analytical tools. InterSystems IRIS handles those roles and many more. And just like we've been able to make specific experiences for the data modeler and the data analyst, we're focused on providing easy, intuitive experiences across the board. Our strategy here is what I call a native plus open strategy. first of all, we bring in all your data from lots of sources in lots of forms. Secondly, we embed directly in the platform a wide variety of analytic tools. We have BI, machine learning, NLP, et cetera, to make it quick for you to build amazing applications. We also provide open analytics. We support standard APIs like JDBC, ODBC, UEMA, PMML. We support SQL, including SQL variants like T-SQL. We provide pre-built integrations with the most common BI tools and the most common machine learning stacks. So you get to use pre-built, pre-integrated components in our native approach, these embedded analytics, and we also keep it open so you can use the stack of your choice alongside IRIS, and you can integrate your solution consistently and coexist with the other things in the environment. Now, we just took a big step in this direction by developing embedded Python. Python has an amazing ecosystem, over 8 million developers. So you can easily find talent and you can easily find components that are already built. By embedding Python directly into the same process as IRIS, we've made it as fast as possible. That's very similar to what we did with integrated ML. It's running right next to the data, and it's similar to what we've been doing with ObjectScript for years. Embedded Python also leverages security model and the scaling facilities of InterSystems IRIS, so you can use Python along with all of the SQL and ObjectScript code that you've already written. This has been very enthusiastically received by our customers in our early access program, and I'll bring in Bob Kuszewski to talk more about it. Hey, Bob.
Hey, Jeff, how are you?
I'm great. So what's new?
Well, embedded Python.
You know, it just so happens I was just talking about that.
Really? How surprising.
Yeah.
So embedded Python makes Python a full peer to ObjectScript in IRIS. So you have a choice as a developer of which language you would like to use for any single part of your application. Did you know that there are more than 8 million Python developers in the world?
That's a lot.
It's massive.
Yeah.
This is taught at most universities as part of the undergraduate program now. There are 50 YouTube channels that have over 2,000 subscribers on them. So they're big channels that are dedicated just to Python.
I hear there's a whole corner of TikTok that's just for Python.
Yeah, you're more of a TikTok age group than me.
Okay.
So we're hoping that it's easy for people to find Python developers who will help build your applications. And this massive community that's out there, they've put together PyPy, which is the open exchange of Python, if you will. It has over 300,000 packages that are available today. And all of them work with IRIS.
Wow, my juices are really flowing on that one.
You know, would you like to see a demo?
Absolutely, let's see.
I just so happened to have brought a demo of using the pandas library inside InterSystems IRIS.
Imagine that, let's take a look.
Let's take a look. I'll show you how we built this dataset explorer. It lists the columns in a table alongside basic statistics about each column. This app consists of a React UI and an IRIS REST service. Now, you could build the REST API completely in ObjectScript, but we built it faster using embedded Python. The REST service we built is a standard IRIS REST service that includes all the great URL mapping and authentication features you need. But what's exciting here is the explore key class method, which returns the statistical information about a column, and it's written in Python. You can now write any method or class method in an IRIS object in your choice of ObjectScript or Python. So in this class, I have some methods in Python and others in ObjectScript. The Python methods work with the other methods or properties in the class exactly as you'd expect them to work. For our data exploration service, we're using the IRIS library to query the database and create a pandas data frame from the result set. Here, we're using the data frame describe method to return the max, min, standard deviation, and such for the column. A pandas data frame is a common container for data. Not only do data frames have methods that perform basic calculations on the data they contain, they're also the standard for passing data into data-centric algorithms throughout the Python ecosystems. And further down, we're using the data frame value counts method to get histogram data for the numeric columns that we can show in the browser. So if I switch back to my browser and refresh the page, let's look at the Game of Thrones deaths data set, which catalogs all 2,224 deaths in the 8 seasons of the show. From this quick look, you can see that the showrunners really ramped up the killings in the last few seasons, and that Daenerys Targaryen was attributed with killing a little over 1,000 characters in the show, probably because she had dragons. Embedded Python won't help you get dragons, but it opens new doors for developers on InterSystems IRIS. Give it a try.
Wow, I'm really excited about that. I'm going to download it and use it right away. So what's next?
Well, what's next is people using embedded Python. We've been working on it a long time. We're releasing it. We're very excited to see people build things with it. In the early access program that we ran earlier this summer, we asked the participants what are their ideas for employing embedded Python in their applications. And the results were incredible. Really all over the map, all kinds of things that would be really hard to do with IRIS today. Everything from building Microsoft Office documents on the fly.
Building Office documents within IRIS, that's cool.
Exactly. To taking images off of a scanner and extracting information from them in real time, to machine learning, to more machine learning, and even more machine learning, because everybody responded with machine learning, at least somewhere in their response.
It's very big in the Python community.
It's huge, absolutely.
So that's exciting. I can't wait to see what you guys, our customers, are going to build. How do people learn more about this?
Well, we have an experience lab coming up during Summit. We also have 4 Python sessions during Summit. Please watch them, engage.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Jeff.
Can't wait to see what people are going to build with embedded Python.
Me too. Thank you.
So cool. Now let's talk and transition and talk about the cloud. Of course, we've been supporting the cloud for quite some time, and we have customers running in production in all major cloud platforms. InterSystems IRIS runs beautifully with Kubernetes and with containers. And as I mentioned with our cloud strategy, our plan also involves bringing out targeted SaaS services, software as a service, and PaaS services, platform as a service. We've done a lot in this area over the last year, and we have a ton of great content for you here at Virtual Summit. I want to highlight in particular 2 SaaS services which both revolve around Fire. We released the first of these in July. It's called the Health Share Message Transformation Service. And this takes HL7 2.5 messages in, and it transforms them directly to Fire messages. We tried to make it extremely easy. We did this in partnership with Amazon, and we developed a great Amazon Health Lake integration in the process. We released our second SaaS service in August. This is called the InterSystems IRIS Fire Accelerator Service. It's a high-capacity, high-performance Fire service available as a fully managed, fully automated service, including API management, multiple identity providers, and full security and compliance. You can connect these 2 services together really easily in order to create healthcare applications, anything that supports both Fire and other healthcare protocols, and build some pretty amazing applications very quickly. all running in the cloud. We sponsored a hackathon, a Hack MIT, about a month ago, and we had 38 new entrants that built on this stack and built really powerful applications in 24 hours. So to dig a little bit deeper into this, let me bring on Hedgela de Souza and Dr. Pat Jameson.
Hey, Jeff.
Hey, Jeff. How
Hey,
you doing?
I'm doing great. How are
Great.
you?
Good, good. Excited.
Cool. Yeah, I'm super excited about these things. So Hedgela, what's new?
Well, this was an exciting year. We increased our presence in the cloud. We have new apps or cloud services, as you want to say, the Fire Accelerator service and Health Share Message Transformation, which is cool apps.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just talking about those.
Oh, great.
And these two services are running side by side. You can use one or the other.
Yeah, you can use individually or you can use them together. All work like a glove.
Cool. So maybe we can see one. Pat, maybe you could show us the Health Message Transformation service.
I'd love to. What this service does is take older standards and converts them to Fire. And this can be used with the Fire Accelerator service, Health Lake, or an S3 bucket. So here you're seeing various pipelines that have been set up. What I'm going to do is just show you a typical message and how it is easily transformed to Fire without having to write your own data transformations. I'm going to use the demo tool, and I'm going to just drop into this preview box an MDM message. This is taken from a patient that had an OB/GYN visit, and we'll see that it can convert this to Fire very easily. So I'm just pasting this message in, and all I need to do is transform it to Fire by clicking on the button below. And you can see it has a lot of different observations. Notice that we get a nice structured transform message, so I could see the organization, I could see the patient, and all the properties, so the communication, etc. I could get information on the patient's practitioner, the encounter, and I don't show it here, but we could also get information on all the observations that were made on this patient.
It's nice to see all the Fire resources before you really go to the database.
That's neat. And you just had to paste it in, and you see the transformation.
Right.
And if this was in production from bucket to bucket,
No problem. It would basically read all the messages in the bucket, make the transformations. If there are errors, it would go to an error file, but it would then send it to the location of your choosing. So it could be the Fire Accelerator service, it could be Health Lake, it could be another S3 bucket.
I'm so excited about this. And you guys got this up and running really fast. What did you learn?
Oh, we learn a lot of things. First, and the most exciting, is that our technology plays really well in the cloud. We are elastic. We could figure it out that different from what we see in other technologies out there, that we can perform really well. Hundreds of thousands of requests per minute compared to a few thousand from what we can see out there.
So just make sure I got that right. We have hundreds of thousands of requests a minute, and that's like 20, 30 times what anybody else can do.
Kind of 200 times.
200 times faster than other people can do.
It's really exciting.
Wow.
It's enough for a decent-sized country to be served in our technology with one instance. And it's so easy. You can also, with a click of a button, 5 minutes, you have an entire deployment, or a few seconds if you're talking about the pipeline. So it's really exciting to have our technology in the cloud. And most important, we develop, and in a few days or weeks, you can see a completely brand new feature, and you can use that right away. You don't need to wait for get a new deployment or an upgrade or anything like this. It's instantaneous. It's exciting.
That's beautiful. So the promise of the cloud of elasticity, of scale, of time to value, we're really living that now.
We are. And I can say that our customers are going to be very excited to see this during the Global Summit. And I hope that they're going to see that in their production as well.
Very cool. So this is amazing, and it's real, and it's production. What's next?
Glad you asked that. More and more of our customers are now accumulating a lot of fire data, and they're interested in analyzing that data. So they're asking us, can we make this easier for them? Because as you know, fire is a complex directed graph. And so we're rolling out as an early access program the Fire SQL Builder. And I'd love to give you a little sneak preview right here.
Oh, cool. Let's see it.
I'm logging in and I'm going to create an analysis. Part of what this product does is it analyzes your fire repository so that you learn exactly what resources and elements exist in that repository. I'm going to analyze all the records in this repository. After this analysis task is done, and it varies with the size of the repository, we can then create what's called a transformation specification. This is what allows us to project the data without moving it so that we can use it just like we would use normal SQL tables. So now it's analyzed. I'm going to create a new transformation specification. I could create as many as I want, and I could edit them at any time. So I'm going to create a new one here, and I could name it anything I want. I base it on the analysis I just did. I'm going to just call this one Fire SQL 2 because I've made other transform specs. Create this new one. Now I'm going to edit this, and it's showing you the number of resources. So the patient resource has 115 patients in this system. I'm going to select these elements and include them in my SQL schema. So I'm going to select ID, gender, I'm going to select birth date, and finally I'm going to select multiple birth Boolean. I'm going to include that. After that's done, I can now create a data projection from this transform spec. So I'm taking the transform spec I just made, and I'm going to put it in a package where all these tables are going to live. And I'm going to call the package the same. You could call it anything you want. And you could see now I'm going to just query the tables in that package. So I'm going to Fire SQL 2, and you could see we've just created one table, a patient table. I'm going to get rid of this old query, and I'm going to just drop in this patient. And you could see all of the columns I've selected are now projected as a SQL table. So you could do any kind of business intelligence with this without having to learn FirePath or SQL on Fire or other complex techniques.
That's really cool.
That's one of the things that we are learning with some of our newcomers, that they don't know Fire yet. Searching Fire is a complication, and these really address the problem. It's really exciting to see that coming.
Yeah, and people now can see what's in Fire data, what's in data that comes from legacy formats or other formats all together and analyze it in their favorite BI tool or with SQL, right?
Right. I think we're going to have a lot of people interested in the early access program.
Well, I hope so. I hope so. So how do people learn more about this?
I have a complete session on this that goes and gives a much fuller demo and a lot of the thinking behind the design of this system. So you should look at the workshop sessions on the Fire SQL Builder and how to get involved in the early access program. I talk about that in my session.
Excellent. And we have lots of sessions as well about the message to information services, about the Fire Accelerator. Plus, it's so easy to get up and running in the cloud. You can just subscribe to the services and try our first look.
There we go.
I'm so psyched about these services and sort of a new era for our customers of running our services in the cloud. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right. So let me just recap what we just talked about around that Fire SQL Builder. Fire is intrinsically non-relational, is built as a directed graph. So what we've come up with is a way to map FHIR into a schema of your design and a set of software that makes the design and ongoing maintenance of that really easy. It starts by analyzing the data that's actually in your FHIR repository and showing you what's there. After you take that and design your schema, typically this is a data steward or a developer doing the design. We generate the schema and we do it not by duplicating the data, but by projecting it. And then we keep those two up to date. So the result in this is then a set of tables that you can use through SQL, through ODBC, JDBC, or with your favorite BI tool. This is incredibly cool, and we're able to move quickly and work with it as a service in the cloud. So to give you a bigger picture of what we're doing in the cloud, let me take a step back and talk about a new product vision. I see a world where there's greater and greater need for data and insight of all types. I see a world where there's a range of analytic capabilities being used by an even bigger range of analytic roles. And I see an opportunity to support a whole new generation of composable applications. So in this vision, the capabilities that you're familiar with in InterSystems IRIS present as a data plane. So in this, obviously, is data storage, same with analytics, interoperability, and you may have heard Scott refer to this yesterday in his keynote as the Smart Data Fabric. Smart Data Fabric includes all of these facilities, metadata management, governance, and more. And it's orchestrated through a control plane. On top of this, we envision the ability to compose solutions really easy by plugging together data services. This gives you the familiarity as an architect of working with microservices. You can really work with Lego blocks, if you will. But behind the scenes, InterSystems is doing our magic. We're optimizing to minimize data duplication, to minimize data movement, and to maximize performance. So, to dig much deeper into this, let me bring on Amir Samari.
Hey, Jeff.
Hey, Amir. So Amir is the brains behind some amazing solutions that InterSystems has produced over the years, one of my favorite architects. Welcome.
And what's new?
You're asking me. Okay, what's new is the Smart Data Fabric. And as you're aware, and as you saw from Scott's keynote yesterday, the Smart Data Fabric is an architectural construct that we see a lot now. We have customers using it, and we're embracing it as the way that people can flexibly build new applications, new data-intensive applications. So with our 2021.1 release, we really started embracing the data fabric pattern. And that's been going really well. So I guess I can ask you now, what's next?
Yeah, what's next is Smart Data Services.
Okay.
And it's an easy way. We are trying to make it really easy to find and deploy our technology.
Yeah, I'm all in, going up the stack and making it easy for people to get value. But maybe you can show us a little bit of what this could look like.
Sure, I have a demo about that.
Ah, what a thing.
So this demo is deployed on AWS, and this is the control plane. And we have a service deployed already. I can move it around. It represents a Kafka broker that is deployed outside the cluster. I can go to the catalog. I want to deploy something else. We have several things here. IRIS is one of them. We have several catalogs. I want to go to the financial services catalog because I have a nice demo there. I want to pick the live trade valuation demo, and it has a name, it has a company, it has a version, everything you would expect from a catalog. I can give it a name. I can choose its compute size. It's going to be deployed on AWS, so you're going to be seeing familiar names like compute optimized, memory optimized, and things like that. So what I really want is a big box because it's a lot of data coming from Kafka, so I'm going to take a C5 2x large. And now I need to configure the storage. This is a demo that is built on top of IRIS, so it needs storage. I can configure individual values for database, write image journal, all these things that you're familiar with. But I want to pick just a t-shirt size. And this other section here is about what you want to see exposed outside the cluster. I really want to show you guys the management portal, so I'm enabling that. And this is a demo. It has its own UI, so I want to enable that too, so you can see the demo. Okay. So what comes next is high availability. I don't need that for the demo, so I'm skipping that. And a very cool concept here is endpoint dependencies. This demo requires Kafka to work. It pulls data from a Kafka broker. So it's telling me that, and it won't let me deploy it if I don't select a Kafka broker. I have only one. It's a trading data that you saw before, so I'm picking that one. I have to accept terms and conditions and add this to my solution. So as I said before, this is deployed on AWS, but it's all running on top of Kubernetes. So right now, pods are being created, and this is being deployed, and we can take a look at the canvas in a graphical view. And this allows an architect to see how different parts of your data fabric relates to each other. So here we have the Kafka broker, there we have our demo. They have a dependency, and you can see that. So it's deployed, and now we can look into that demo, right? So the first thing I want to show, it's really easy to jump into the management portal because it's built on top of IRIS. So I can just see the production that this demo uses. But let's see the demo. So let's go back to the control plane, and I'm going to click on the demo UI that you're seeing there. And you see this black screen because it's a trading system, and it's very different from what you were seeing before. Let's start the demo. And now the demo is starting that production. We're pulling data from Kafka and displaying on the screen, right? So this demo shows how easy it is to find solutions that go better together, deploy it really easily, and compose your services. And it's meant not only for InterSystems, but for our partners.
This is amazing. I'm incredibly psyched about this, Amir. And this, I know, is not ready for production. It's still a vision, but
Yes.
I'm already getting great feedback about the concept and about what you've already built in terms of the reality.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a very exciting concept. We can really go up the stack here and provide our partners with a much better experience, and our customers, they can find our solutions, they can find our partner solutions, and compose these solutions in a very easy way.
Yeah, and that means that more people can do it, and you can get to time to value to be really, really quick.
Exactly.
So if people want to learn more about this, how do they do it?
Well, we have a 20-minute session in the Virtual Summit just about that.
I love it. And I really appreciate you coming and talking to us about smart data services. Thanks so much.
No, thank you, Jeff.
So cool. So you have a sense from Amir, and talking with Amir, that even though this is a vision and not shipping product yet, we're well along the way to cooking it up in InterSystems Kitchen. You can also get a sense from the services we've already talked about that this is real, this is a general framework. So the message transformation services, the Fire Accelerator are designed to work together. Now imagine the Fire SQL Builder as a third such service. You have data-rich services that are composable. The Fire SQL Builder optimizes behind the scenes to project the data, not to duplicate the data. Maximizes performance and scale. I'd love to hear your thoughts, your feedback, your ideas about this. What do you think of this vision, and how would you use it? I'm completely psyched about the incredible capabilities that we can bring to market with you, with our customers, and with our partners. And I can't wait to hear what you think about it. Just to wrap up, that's a quick sense of what's new and what's next. We've talked about two things around analytics, adaptive analytics and embedded Python. We've talked about our new FHIR-oriented SaaS services in the cloud, and we've talked about our new Smart Data Fabric and Smart Data Services vision. As you saw from the cloud things that we went through, they're not just cloud. Cloud is a what? They're analytics in the cloud or interoperability in the cloud. So, though I may present these as distinct areas or distinct pillars, if you will, things really do relate to each other. And really any of these areas connects to all the rest. So, we've talked about what's new, what's next, what's beyond what's next. Well, you can expect us to continue to invest really heavily in all of these pillars. You can expect to continue to get new releases as well as maintenance for existing releases. You can expect that our developer and partner communities and the resources we build together with them will expand and continue to grow. And you can expect that we will continue to partner with you as customers to build amazing things, to harness your data and drive insight, and to power things that matter. Thank you.